Hello everybody, and thank you so much. I'm very honored that you are here. My name is Mike. Welcome to appointment number 4, and the name of my channel is Street Smarts, a logistical approach. A logical approach, if you would. So let's delve right into it. I a lot of times make parodies and bring up examples and make points on how to sharpen your social skills so that you can have an extra advantage, a leg up when it comes to being street smart. I'm going to give you a word, and what I would like you to do is, don't say it out loud, but just what would be your first thought when I say this? Tell me in your gut. Okay, ready? I'm going to put it out there. 1, 2, 3. Effort. The word is effort. How does that make you feel? Okay. To me, I get kind of an angst. I get kind of like, well, how much? Do I have to get up off the couch in the middle of my show? That feeling of, okay, now I got to work. Okay, effort. Effort is a very popular word. It's a very popular thing. It helps to embody your happiness, your success. I remember years ago, I was in sales, and I was driving home one night from work, and it was a little bit late, and I went to pull into our community grocery store. I live kind of not far from where I grew up. So growing up, there was one grocery store for a small community, and it wasn't a party store, it was a big store. It had a bunch of aisles, and it had a produce, a frozen, a section, meats, fruits, vegetables, everything from a grocery store. And it's something that we grew up with. And the owner, I remember being a hustler. He was always in the store, always hands-on. Everybody knew who he was. And I went to school with his family, and they all work for him to this day. And he's still the owner, and alive and kicking to this day. So I was driving home one night, and I wasn't sure if the store closed at like 10 o'clock. I thought maybe 11, but I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to pull in because I needed, I think, one item. So I pull in, and there's a few cars there. So I said, oh, maybe they are open. So I start to walk up, and the more I get closer, the more I'm thinking, well, they're closed. And I look in the window, and there's a guy. There's a guy in there, and the lights are dim. So I'm like, okay, it's locked up, and the grocery store is closed. I'll have to get what I need to get tomorrow. But I got to think, I'm like, who's that guy? Well, it was the owner. The owner was in there mopping his own floors. Think about that. This guy is, already had the store for 30 years, and he is still putting in that kind of effort, mopping his own floors after hours when he should be home having a martini. Okay? That's effort. That's the effort that I'm trying to instill here to give you some ideas and some points so you can develop and sharpen your own street smart style of effort. So let's talk about some points. The first point is that you have to be able to embody inconvenience. Now, I don't mean like a life-threatening hardship or anything like that. I'm talking you have to get up early in the morning. You might have to stay a little bit later. If the days are long, use those days. Okay, that's what I mean by there's going to be some inconvenience. Okay, I have a small business, and I also work for the government here in Michigan. So I'll get up. It's seasonal, and in Michigan we get cold winters. So I'm busy April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Then I take 4 months off from my business. But my day job, my second shift job, is from 1 to 9. So usually I'm hustling home by noon, jumping in the shower, grabbing a snack, and I'm at work from 1 to 9. But those mornings are dedicated to my business. Man, I'm telling you, it's hard to get up. That's inconvenient. That's what I'm talking about. Inconveniences like that. The next thing, the next point that I want to make is to make sure that you don't waste in terms of, just be fearful of waste. Say, for instance, you have a gym membership, okay? And, you get charged every month. That's your contract. You're in 12 months, and you get charged $50 a month. Well, if you use that membership twice a month, still it's only 50, but that's got to be in the back of your head that you're wasting that membership. I need you to view your goals and your efforts. Okay, you have to keep that in mind. Okay, you want to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I giving it my all? Well, if you paid for a month membership and you use the gym twice in the month, and I know that that's not effort. Okay, avoid that. Make the most out of that. Okay, the next thing I want to say is avoid delays in your schedule. Okay, if you anticipate, that you want to play golf, I'm not saying you got to work 24/7. You have a family. If you have a family activity to catch up with the kids and your husband or wife, okay, I'm just saying to be consistent. Work really hard on those traditional business days. Mondays have to be strong. Tuesdays have to be stronger. Wednesdays have to be strong. Thursday is a big long day, or it should be, just in case you want to do something on Sunday. And I don't mean that you can't work on Sunday either. Maybe a half day, maybe all day, depends on the season. But don't delay items. Be consistent, okay? Your customers, if you are in small business, they'll get accustomed to when they can reach you and when's a good time that you can do whatever it is that your product or what have you. The next thing is it takes a lot of resource and energy. You're going to burn a lot of calories when you're putting in effort, okay? So this is extremely important. A lot of people really worry. I'm guilty of worrying. I don't want to be loathsome, because guess what? Now I'm burning all kinds of energy and calories and effort negatively. Worrying is a negative effort. It is effort, but it's negative. You don't need to go that way, okay? You need to go that way. So don't overburden yourself with extended worries, okay? Just work as hard as you can today, and then worry about tomorrow, okay? The next point that I want to make is, what I've laid out for you in terms of effort is honesty and old school and kind of tough love. I haven't given a break in all those items that I laid out, but you need to embody that. You have to be fine with it. And the reason why that can be okay, that you're living with some inconvenience, that you're on it to make sure a schedule, even though it takes a lot of effort, you're accomplishing, that you're trying not to worry, that you're making the most of your time. You have to be good with it. You have to be okay with it. You have to, at the end of the week, look back and say, wow, I'm satisfied that I put that kind of effort into everything, So effort then also is a situation where you have to, you have to be, confident that if you work as hard as you can, that good things are going to happen, okay? That your efforts are not futility, okay? There was a great football coach for Ohio State, and he coached from like the 50s all the way into like the late 70s. And he might be considered the greatest college football coach in the history of football. And his name was Woody Hayes. And I seen him on a interview once, and people were lauding him and saying, you've had so much success and you've done such a great job. What was your secret? And he said, well, I'll be honest. I think I'm not the smartest guy. He said that. He said, I've probably been terribly lucky. I remember that specifically. He said the phrase terribly lucky. So he was being humble. You see what I'm saying? That's a key. We've talked about that. And but then he put it out there. The truth of the matter was, he stated for the record, he said, if at the end of the day, and you give me the same materials of anybody else, I can promise you I will outwork anybody that you put me up against. Now, that means he's putting 1,000% effort. Okay, he said he will outwork you. So, I think back growing up, and when I was coming through like elementary school, and this was like the mid 70s and the early 80s, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just had a sense that, not really that there was something wrong, but I was a very average study type of person, and it was just hard for me to concentrate. I couldn't read and retain. Today they might call that dyslexia. I don't know. I never was diagnosed. I never took any Ritalin. Is that what they use that makes you concentrate better? I never did any of that. But I'm certain, had I grown up in this day and age, that I would have been fast-tracked and probably, had to be put on something that helps you concentrate. So once I graduated, I hated school. I hated scholastics. But I waited a couple years after I graduated, and I said, the key for my success, one of them, is education. So I started going back to school and stopping and starting again. Well, over the course of a total maybe 10 years of my life, I was able to get 60 credits at a community college, and then I got another 68 credits at a university and achieved a bachelor's degree. And then I did another couple years at online to get a master's degree in education. But that all took me 10 years, and I failed some classes. I failed some tests. A lot of nights staying up late, putting that effort in, frantically studying and worrying, unfortunately, about a test. But here I am to tell you that I have 2 degrees, and I'm not a candidate. I'm not smart enough, honestly, for 2 degrees. But the effort that I put in there, I could outwork or do circles around most people, just as long as I had the ability to do it. It was going to take me longer to get my goal done, but I got them done. It took me longer than normal people, but because of those efforts, I was able to accomplish 2 degrees in my lifetime. Anyways, hopefully you take all that in, those points, as food for thought, and then you will develop your own style. Because if you can really get good at your efforts to the point where you're good with not being scared of inconveniences, not worrying as much, keeping track and managing your time, making the most of your time, that's a street smart social attribute, okay, that is going to take you a long way, I promise you. It's effort. Not everybody can do it, and people do it at varying degrees. But guess what? If you stick to it and you keep doing effort, then good things are going to happen, and you're going to be sharp, and you're going to be street smart, okay? And don't let up. Don't let up at all. That completes your 4th appointment. I hope this was useful. And guess what? I'm going to tell you. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Any comments, anything else that you might want, advice or on, then I'd be happy to return that, and make comments back to you. All right, folks. Appointment number 4 is in the books. Appointment number 5 is 1 week from today, and I expect you to be there. I'm Mike, and I wish you well. Thanks so very much.